Hey, I want to thank you for joining me. My name is Phil Mango, if we haven't met, and I'm going to share with you over the next few weeks 100 different ways to make more money in 2024. So I'm going to run through this presentation. I'm going to share as much with as I can, and we're going to cover the first 5 ways that you can earn income in 2024 today. So let's jump into it. First and foremost, let me read you the disclaimer. This presentation is for educational purposes only. Opinions or points of view that I express today are the view of my own, and they do not necessarily represent the official positions or policies of any companies or industries that I mention, and nothing in this presentation constitutes legal advice. Okay, so I think it's super important that before we do anything that we level set. So hopefully it does that. There we go. So let's level set. First of all, it is important that you have the right mindset when you're thinking about making more money in 2024. If you're here, you're watching, then you've taken a good first step. You must now train your brain daily that all things are possible. I live by this really simple philosophy. Money is like water. It's everywhere. It surrounds us. There's water from fountains. There's water in your sink, in your toilet, in your bathtub. There's water in lakes, ponds, rivers, oceans. Water is everywhere. Yet people go thirsty and say they cannot find anything to drink. Replace now water with money. How many people do you know? How many times have you said to yourself, I just can't find any more ways to make money? It's all around you. You just have to plug into the source. So anything is possible. You just have to look. The important thing I want you to really get in a mindset in 2024 doing is have this mindset. And then once you have this mindset, it's okay to dream, to set goals, and then take action. We'll talk more about that. Okay. I want to give you first a little story. Around 13 years ago, I like to use the term we were broke as a joke. We're talking, it was the holiday time, and we did not have a proverbial pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. We were extremely financially stressed. My wife likes garage sailing, and she happened to go to our neighborhood garage sailing, and she found a deep freeze. Now, for those of you who don't know, deep freeze is something that you store food in, stuff that you might not eat for months, maybe even years. Typically, it sits out in your garage. But we didn't have one. We had a refrigerator, and I didn't see the need for a deep freeze, but my wife did. So she was garage selling. She saw this deep freezer at a garage sale. She came back home and says, hey, it's 75 bucks. 75 bucks I didn't really have. I think we should get it. I, as a good husband, go drive over to the house, talk to the owner. And as I'm looking at this deep freeze, which looks very similar to the picture you're looking at right now, I glance over to the corner of the garage and I see a tanning bed. And I ask, is the tanning bed for sale as well? Does it work? Oh, yeah, it works. I just don't have a need for it. It's huge. It's cumbersome. I'm trying to get rid of it. So I said, I tell you what, I'll give you 75 bucks for the deep freeze if you throw in the tanning bed. I thought the owner would laugh at me, but guess what? They said, yeah, sure. If you can pick it up today and take it with you, you can have it. Great. So I've got a deep freeze. My wife's happy. And now what I did was I acquired an asset that I knew I could flip really quickly. It was the winter months. People wanted to get tan and they didn't have the ability to do so without a tanning bed. Tanning memberships could be expensive. So I went out and I put it on Craigslist. I took pictures of it. I put it on Craigslist before I even brought it home. Within 3 hours, that tanning bed that I'd just gotten for free, I sold for cash for $500. I had the person come and pick it up from the house that had the deep freeze. I took the deep freeze home, met him there. He picked up the tanning bed, gave me 500 bucks. I netted out $425 in less than a few hours. So I say that to tell you that if you look around, there are amazing opportunities or an income that doesn't require income. So that kind of leads into my first, number one, and in no particular order, ways that you can earn income. I want you to remember that in any action, inaction, excuse me, will lead to nothing. Action always leads to change. So, number one, garage sales, Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to go through these drop ship marketplaces, freelance work, MLMs, and lastly, online work. So let's go into the first one. You have money sitting around your house right now. There are things that are in your apartment, in your condo, in your home, in your room where you live that are not earning you income, that you don't use, that were either given to you or you bought years before, that have value that you can sell. So if you're in a position where you are desperate right now for some extra income, this first strategy is to look for things that are around you that have some value and put them on Facebook Marketplace. I used to use Craigslist. I've used other selling sites, but I find Facebook Marketplace has some of the best and most scam-free options. There are online garage sales within Facebook Marketplace. You can sell things locally. You place a free ad, make sure you have a bunch of pictures, you post that item, you put a dollar amount, you can accept it via Venmo or Zelle or any other cash app, or simply meet that person and get cash the same day. If you don't have items in your home for some reason, you think you have nothing that you can sell and flip, garage sales on days like today, on a Saturday, there are deals out there. People that will sell brand new shoes for $1 that you can go put on Facebook Marketplace for 15 to 20. Like I mentioned, a tanning bed. There are so many other big ticket items that people are willing to get that headache out of their house for anything, and you can take that and sell it. So that's number one. Take the things that you have or find things that are cheap and sell them at a markup. You can do this right now. Gary V, who you should look him up. He said right now, if he had to go out and make an extra money, garage sales would be the first place he would do it. So do your research, find some items, flip them on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. Number two, I'm really fascinated by this, and this is a strategy I'm going to implement in 2024, and that is doing a drop ship business model online. So if you don't understand what drop ship means, it's essentially a customer places an order for, let's just say, like the example here, for $200 through your online store that isn't a physical location, that does not hold physical products. It's essentially a gateway to someone else's products. You keep $50 of that $200 transaction. The order then forwards to the wholesaler who supplies it and ships it and handles everything else and essentially cuts you a check. So you are the middleman, the middle person in this example. All your job is advertising, getting the word out, putting your store as visibly as possible while the orders are ticking overnight around the world. The beautiful thing about dropship, the beautiful thing about having a dropship business is that it's operating when you sleep. It's operating around the world. It doesn't require physical inventory, and it doesn't require much, if any, cost. A simple Google search will give you all the tips, the links, and the tricks on how to start a dropship business for little to no money and start making recurring income. I've seen businesses that are doing tens of thousands a month from just a simple dropship business. All right. Number three, be a freelancer. Okay. The third strategy I would recommend that you implement is take the skills that you already have. Some of you watching may be copywriters. Maybe your full-time job, you're in sales. Maybe you're an accountant. You have skills. Every single person that's watching this has some sort of skill set that you could freelance and get paid contract work in your free time for using those skills. There's websites like Etsy, for example, or Fiverr. I think it's Fiverr.com, where you can post free ads for your skills. People will reach out to you and say, hey, I need this work done by this period. I'm willing to pay this much. You can do that in your free time. The key is, I'm going to tell you about all of these tips that I'm going to share with you, is that if you say yes to something, you have to say no to something else. So if your goal in 2024 is to make an extra $500 a month in income through using any of these strategies, you're going to say yes to that. It means you might have to say no to playing games on your phone for a couple hours a day. It might mean that you have to say no to watching The Bachelor on Monday nights. It might mean you have to say no to scrolling through social media endlessly, looking at people's stories for no particular reason, and losing hours in your day. So say no to those things that aren't helping you reach your dreams and goals and help you fulfill the life that you want, and say yes to some activities that will lead to more income. So figure out, ask friends, ask people online, hey, what skills do you think I possess that others do not? You'll be amazed to see that people want you to be successful and want to share those things with you, and they'll tell you. And then take those skills, put a nice little ad out for free on one of those websites, and start doing some freelance work in your free time. Okay. The next one, number 4. MLM. This means multi-level marketing. And this can be controversial. And I can tell you that 10 years ago, I said the only way to make money through multi-level marketing was to start an MLM company, not join one. So I was very much against this, and it wasn't my bag. However, my wife and I found a company 10 years ago that we absolutely love. And here's the way that you can make an MLM work. Number 1, you have to be passionate about their products or services. If you're not passionate about an MLM's products and services, or you just say, hey, this is a quick way to make money, that's going to be short-lived, because as soon as you don't experience success, you'll give up. But if you're passionate about what the MLM is offering, and either you're taking their products yourself or you're utilizing their services yourself and you love them, you shouldn't do it. Okay. So that's number 1. Number 2, if you choose to go the MLM route, multi-level marketing route, you have to find a very strong upline that's willing to train you, coach you, encourage you, give you the support that you need 24/7, 365. They should be committed to your success as much as they are their own. So finding a good upline is extremely important in the MLM business to be successful. And then lastly is having a great compensation plan with what I call weekly and monthly pay. So something where you get some bites to sustain you while you're out there hustling, and then some long-term carrots and things that can build good long-term recurring revenue. Here's why I like MLM. Number 1, the ability to earn mailbox money or recurring income once you built the business, and then doesn't require as much work to maintain it, is extremely attractive and a nice draw. The other thing is, I like to call it personal development with a paycheck. Having done this, we've met people that we never would have met otherwise, in places that we never would have gone, and experienced things we never would have experienced. So it's extremely enriching. And I highly encourage you that if you're someone that wants to have more social interaction, MLMs can be great, and they can be extremely successful. They do take work. They do take sometimes either a small, as little as $150 to $160 investment. There are others that require thousands of dollars, big ticket items to invest in. I'm not here to tell you which one's better than the other. I'm just here to tell you that they can work as long as you have those 3 things in place. All right. So MLM, I highly recommend. You got to find the right one. I'll have my information at the end if you'd like to talk to me about any of them. Okay. Number 5 for this week. I like to call this commission work. And this is where you sit there and you go, I've got a lot of spare time. I work a 9 to 5, but I know I have 2 or 3 hours either during the day or in the evening where I could be making extra money. A couple examples of this would be doing appointment setting. There are companies out there who will hire virtual appointment setters. They'll give you leads, they'll give you scripts and training, and basically pay you for appointments. So if you don't mind going out and making phone calls or sending emails or both to try and get appointments for dollars, that can be great. Additionally, if you've ever wanted to get into sales, but don't want to leave the comfort of your full-time job, you're not ready to make that kind of commitment, but you have good contacts, you have the ability to network, you know people in other industries, you could learn or work with a company that would pay you commission sales just even for referrals and make extra money for those referrals. One of the companies that I own, energy company, I'm hiring both of these positions right now. So I'm looking for appointment setters that get paid for appointments, and associates that would learn the energy business. I would teach them, train them, coach them, all that, and would make a substantial commission on each sale. So those positions specifically with the company I've got pay as little as $500 a month and as much as $5,000 a month. So again, there are amazing income opportunities out there if you'll look. And not just my company, there are these kinds of positions with many companies. A simple Google search will get you there. This little device, this little phone, right, is more powerful than what launched a NASA rocket to the moon, 50, 60 years ago. So utilize that thing, because I'm telling you, there's gold in your backyard. There's water everywhere to drink. You just have to find it. Okay. So let's talk about some next steps. Hopefully, of these 5 different ways to make money in 2024, more money, there's something that spoke to you. I want you to plan, but don't procrastinate. I want you to take one of those ideas, just one, and do some planning. Say, when would I want to start this? How would I start this? Do your research. If something piqued your interest, I want you to learn more, but do it quickly. Watch this video, immediately stop, go out, make your plan, and start doing some research. Spend 2 hours instead of watching TV. Spend 2 hours doing a deep dive on one of these topics, and then go for it. Take action. Start now. Don't say, I'll look to do that after the holidays. Procrastination is death. Take action now. I appreciate you watching this today. If I'm going to leave my information up here, if you are interested at all in learning more about any of these opportunities, or you just want some simple advice, I want you to call or text. I'm here to serve. My number's there on the screen. My name's Phil. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you. I hope you make it a great week. Take care.